Looks like everything is live. Good morning, everybody. Today, another day of probably some inside movement. We are breaking above yesterday's high, but looking to approach right back into it. We stayed within that same range pretty much all night until just now. We broke right above that 360 level that I was mentioning pre-market yesterday, and then during the session yesterday, we are holding above 380 right now. We're at 380, so we're going to be mindful of all that, and we're going to go from there. Let's watch this on the open, see what we can get. I think the markets, if it gives me a nice little wick off setup here, I'm probably going to take that opening range short if it does break. What's up, Max? Thanks for the napkin. I have some interesting feelings going on my feet right now. It's weird. Okay. So yes, and our NQ does have up to that 400 level. Our overnight high is here. If we could wick off, maybe hit off on 400, start to fade the opening range depending on where it ends up. I think maybe we could rotate back down to VWAP. Seems like one of those days where we're trying to break above and not get very far. Just one?
Water.
That's good. All right, boy. You okay? You gonna have a good day, buddy? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. It's funny, every time I put on a music or anything like that, the YouTube stream immediately gets, like, once I've finished, the music flags for copyright immediately. It's amazing. So anybody who's, like, monetized or anything like that, they gotta be really careful with what they do as far as music is concerned and stuff. Because I played some, like, lo-fi stuff, nothing even really crazy that was going to be like what I would expect copyright infringement. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? Today's going to be kind of a tight day. I definitely have to be off before 11. We're going to look to execute early. We're going to look to execute aggressively and see what happens with this on the open. Nice little wick of 400. I'm going to wait for this 1 minute candle to close here, but I think if we do crack below this 77 level, then we could rotate down. Stop sell there. I'm going to take that short if it does go. I'm going to look to take it to at least VWAP because we are, as I mentioned, I notated over the last few weeks, last week into this week, that it seems like if we open on an overnight high, that we tend to fade it, an overnight high or an overnight low. If we get the setup, we tend to, if we break down the opening range towards VWAP, we tend to rotate the other direction. So we are going to take that opening range break if it does. Microsoft sold off right off the jump. Nvidia pushing up into that 877. Apple holding below 168. I'm going to watch Microsoft. Okay, we broke through the high up into that 400. Let's see if we can break this opening range low here, or if this is going to be just another gap and go up above here, above the 400 level. So I have my stop in here. Going to wait to see if this opening range breaks, but this is also the previous day high, so I'm going to look to enter in below that high there. Seems like a pretty good entry. My level is that 277 down below. Yesterday we rotated it. We sold off, bought right into this, sold off again, bought back in, and we sat right on top of 277. So we are in a good area as far as, you know, if it's going to stay rotational until tomorrow. Microsoft is selling pretty good, so I'm actually going to move this right here. If we break the opening range low, I am going to take this short. Delta looks good. Tilt's a little bit long, so should be in good shape with this opening range low breakdown, and see if we can rotate it down into this at least VWAP. That'd be nice. Microsoft sold off pretty good. Looking to hunt for that pre-market low. Nvidia also now selling. Apple selling. Well, we're just kind of stagnant. I just saw a red candle kind of quick and I said selling, but so we're here, we're waiting, we're patient. We have our orders set. I do think if we break down, we could break down nice and hard. We do have a nice accumulation going on right here at 400. I don't know if we do break above. We do have up into 425, even up to 440 as an area of interest where I would be interested in shorts from up there. But realistically, I think the opening range trade idea here is valid from yesterday's analysis, or last week's analysis, I should say. So let's see if we risk maybe a little bit more here. 78 to 98 could front run the entry, but I don't want to be cheating on it. I want the breakdown to actually happen. So let's see if we could do it. See if we get it. If we get it, we get it. We take it. And we just accept the risk. If not, no big deal. Looks like there's the heaviness. Okay, so there's the sell-off. See if we can get this at least down into this VWAP area. Maybe even rotate all the way down. Maybe we can get a heavy fast. Come on now. Give me that good dump. I'm going to try and be patient with my stop today. Get myself in trouble yesterday by running it a little quick. This opening range breakdown, if it's going to go, it's going to go fast. If we break through this down portion here, that we're up 350 on this. So we were 1-to-1. Now we're just going to kind of let it ride, see if we can get down closer to that 339 level. If we can break through this low, we're going to get above right over here with our stops. Fast moves, fast trails for me. 180, securing wins on the day, trying to play that opening range breakdown. Obviously, it's a really nice move there. We are at some key level of support from this morning. So let's see if we can get down into that blue line. We're going to get right to where we're at right now, and then it's pretty much just gravy train for the rest of the day. That's that first. How many jobs can you do? You make at least $500, $480 in the first minute of the day. I've secured $430 with my trailing stop here, and now it's all gravy. First minute of the day, baby. First 5 minutes of the day. We are just cruising downside. The analysis play, I'm playing this opening range breakdown. If we open on these levels every time, it is seemingly, until it doesn't work, I'm playing it right now. This is a great play. I'm very pleased with, taking this short, being really into this. You know what? I didn't throw the alert out there, but we're going to throw the alert out there. Give me the sirens, baby. Give me the sirens. Let's get it. Get the sirens going. We are in this short. Let's see how far down we could take it. I like it down into VWAP. Hopefully it can continue to get heavy. We are catching a little bit of a bounce in Microsoft, so that could rotate us up into the stop spot right here. But I'm going to just trail this candle. And if we get out, we get out. There we go. Great start to the day there. Great start to the day. Up 430 on the short. Brought our weekly total right back to pretty much break even. So that is how you do that right there, baby. So I was, I could have took it down a little further, but we wanted to see if this thing would let it push its way all the way down. If I'm going to be mad at securing $427 in 5 minutes, then I'm a little delusional, right? So have a plan, execute on that plan, and get it going, baby. I said that's how we're going to do it today. Let's go. Let's go, baby. That's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Now, if we come up and we recover that overnight high, break through that 400 up into 440, like I said, 440 is going to be that next level above us where we're interested. So now we took that one trade on to the next one. We're looking to see where we were happy. If you like that idea, it could still continue to play out and roll over. So just be mindful of that. But I'm just notating that we do have this overhead here that if we are holding above this 360 And if we get above 408, then up into that 440, it'll even consider keeping us below this long-term uptrend. Microsoft catching a pretty good bid here, right? After pushing off on those lows from the post-market yesterday. Didn't quite make pre-market lows, but you can see Microsoft actually rallying up pretty nicely there. If you like that trade, hit the like button. If you like the analysis, hit the like button. Head on over to tradecaster.com if you're on YouTube. Let's go, baby. That's it right there, baby. Every day. If I could catch that every day, I'll be a happy man. Instead of being a little baby back bitch and waiting and not executing on the plan, go out there and execute on it. You will be very pleased. Let's go. Every day we're doing this live. Winners or losers, we're going to take our trades. We're going to be aggressive. And as I mentioned, as I build this buffer up here with this 50K account, once I can get this max drawdown to 0, it's currently at 936. We get that to 0, then we will start to add contracts. And when I start to add contracts, those, obviously I may have probably been stopped out for almost the same exact dollar amount because this is coming right back now into break even. But let's say this continues to run, then you secure a little bit more. You let your runner go. You could secure that first one off down here at the base of this consolidation. Secure one there. Maybe you're up 500, and then you're just letting that runner run. If you come back and get break even, you get break even. But then you get that next one, and you're out there catching a couple hundred ticks in a couple minutes on the day, right? So that's what as your account grows, you're able to scale in those other sizes. Don't execute the plan much differently. It's just have your levels, execute around them, and then be able to scale out as you have more size. I know some people, there's one trader, I read the book. Which book was the one that I was thinking? I didn't end up reading it. I did the audio book. I prefer... Let me see. I gotta check it. I forgot the name of it. Obviously, it was a good one, but I just forget the name. We got Best Loser Wins. I didn't look at it. Best Loser Wins. In Best Loser Wins, he talks about how his strategy is basically adding every 1 R, he's adding on another contract, and he's moving his stop to kind of leave his risk alone, and then he just maximizes his contract, and he adds on until he feels like, okay, now it's going to be an exit signal, and he gets out of the whole thing. Instead of scaling out, he scales in and then just he gets out. For me, I scale in and then I scale out. I feel like managing a course position and then taking some off, putting some on, taking some off allows you to really maximize your return. But for me, it's just I'm too quick with trails, with I don't have that fortitude to stomach $1,000 swing up, $1,000 swing down. If I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna take it off the table, and then we're gonna move on. We're gonna just take the small moves. That's my little thing here, is catching small pieces of big moves. But this one pretty much showed its hand at us right away. Every day that we've been watching this, if you've been on the stream at all over the last week or so, I did mention it. I even showed you how to price it in, right? Or like notate it to yourself. So if you go over to our my longer term, my TradingView chart here, and I go over to this is 30-minute chart usually, but I took it off that for equities. So I price things in, I notate things as I see them happening, right? So last week, or let's call this was March 27th, Wednesday. I wrote that right here, right? Price rejected overnight high on the open. So we opened at the overnight high. And what did we do today? If you go back up to this chart, this blue line is the overnight high. So you open at the overnight highs, boom, sell off to VWAP. Same thing here. Open price rejected overnight highs on the open because it opened right at the high. Moving forward, we were in right here. If you wanted to check your chart, Monday, April 1st, last week. That's why I notated it. I'm pretty sure that's the day that it happened because this is moving a little bit. But it says price rejected overnight low on the open. So we open on the low. What do? We rotate right back to the other end and clean some of that up for that overnight inventory. What I noticed over the course of the last few weeks is that happens if it opens up there, but it's not gapping up, or it's, you have to have some criteria in place that would avoid the false breakdown and then the rally, right? So you got to watch levels. You got to be mindful of those levels. Yesterday or even Sunday night when I got home and I drew up my little market analysis, the link is in the alerts bar, and also in YouTube, it's in the description of the chat if you wanted to check it out. I mentioned early in the week, yesterday and today, we were probably going to stay pretty flat, lots of a lack of direction, probably range bound, because there's not enough information coming into Wednesday to really drive us out of what we have going on here. With the huge sell-off Thursday, the rally to recover about 50% or more on Friday, you anticipate that you are going to probably stay flat. Also with the levels here, we broke back into a downward channel, which we kind of are respecting. We are breaking out of it now, but we've respected that, and we're holding below this long-term uptrend, right? So we broke down through the uptrend. We're returning and retesting it again. This is a key level to make a decision, and without any new information, it's likely that we kind of just hang out around these levels. Even if we hang out above this, 360 or even above this 277 like we've been, we need tomorrow's data for more Fed cut rumor mill, pricing in to start happening. So this price action was anticipated. I talked about it yesterday morning. I made some good calls at good levels, and I just made poor executions, which is why I had a losing day. But today we were more aggressive. We took our level, we took our entry, and we, made sure we capitalized on it early. Now we're going to sit back and look for that next A+ setup, and we are getting back to that overnight high right now, kind of double topping it a little bit. So we may be looking to try and take a short or attack it. If you are in the New York area Friday, or if you want to head up, there's that sell off. I just didn't really get ready for it. We're back at the opening range low. Could break down the opening range low. Looks like Russell is also looking to push the opening range low, and the S&Ps is well below that opening range. This is the S&Ps looking to. The only problem with the S&Ps being here is it's sort of right on top of VWAP, right on top of this purple zone from yesterday even. So this 5263 level could hold, which could cause a bounce in the NQ just based on that level being here. Also, Microsoft is holding above 427.33. So with Microsoft doing things like that, you're going to have some trouble selling off, right? And NVIDIA bouncing off of the low at 863. So if NVIDIA bounces from here and rotates back high side, you could get some push follow through up into that 400 level for the NQs before you do actually get a true sell off if it does want to sell off. Apple's been very disconnected from the markets. You could see we held this low at 168 all overnight. This is the longer term support level. I mentioned that in my write-up. So also if you are into the equities and Mag 7 stuff, I mentioned this 168 level has to hold for it to rally back up into that 170, and realistically could get up into 175 if it does catch any sort of bid off of that 168 and the market rallies. If you get good numbers tomorrow, could see Apple rotate up, but it's been kind of disconnected, like I mentioned, from the market, because you can see over here NASDAQ still kind of being a bit heavy, and Apple was still up on the highs right there, rally. Apple and NVIDIA, for some reason, I've noticed it. I've been mentioning it. I don't know if anybody's an equities trader. When NVIDIA sells off, it seems like Apple bids up. It seems like that's the case. And obviously you're seeing a pullback in Apple, and now you're seeing a bid on NVIDIA, right? So it seems like anything that flows out of Apple flows into NVIDIA, and then vice versa. So if you are trading that, just be mindful of that, because it seems like that is some odd correlation that I have been noticing over the last few, it's been like the last few months or a month or so that I've been talking about it. If you can play correlations, if you're a trader and you can find a little broken niche, that is something that you could really capitalize on. For me, I'm not an equities trader. I don't have any accounts that have the ability to day trade equities right now. I don't have the bandwidth right now to be doing multiple things. So I'm focused on the futures. It's my thing. As I can grow these accounts and then build into a couple different avenues, then maybe I'll start back into the equities. If I can get back with T3 before my license expires, then possibly I will start to show you some of those equities plays. But if you can play off of those correlations where they're maybe inversely correlated or something like that, I know, let's say you can't afford to trade enough shares of NVIDIA to day trade it. But Apple's more tradable, right? Apple's priced in at 169, right now 170 a share. But, you could buy more shares of Apple than you can of NVIDIA, depending on your account size, right? So if you start to see this correlation where they're inversely correlated, where if NVIDIA is going down, Apple's going up, and vice versa, if you use NVIDIA as your indicator, you have them side by side, you start to see NVIDIA catch a bounce, maybe it's time to short that Apple play, right? So, but you could actually make money on the Apple side by trading the NVIDIA levels, which is kind of interesting to me. Microsoft failing the high because that's helping this. So we are sitting up a nice little 427 on the day. We're going to look for that next good trade. I do want to time it better. S&Ps are pushing down below VWAP, and we are still holding above VWAP. It seems like the only one really being resilient right now is that NQ. So NQ, if it could get down below 860 and hold, the rotation down into the overnight lows and the previous day low could come into play. Yesterday's 840 level, I tried it. So this was my issue yesterday. I shorted this, got stopped out for a small winner. Then this play came in. I called this play out, didn't take it. Would have been the play of the day for myself, right? I probably would have been up a little bit more than I am today. Ended up being just still up 80. Then I tried to hammer this short here twice. Drew down a little bit into like about 300. Drew down about $300 because I was a little early. Then finally caught this, broke even on it because I didn't give it enough time. And then we finally made the full rotation to the overnight low, as I expected. Like I should have really been able to leave that first entry and then never touch it and been fine. However, that's not my strategy as far as trailing rules go. So I'm just adjusting as time goes on. Right now, we're kind of right into that same area. I don't want to be early on 340. We are still at VWAP, so it's probably going to cut right through, seemingly, based on the way the Microsoft short is coming in and the way you can see the S&P selling off. This may act as resistance, bounce up into the high, and then maybe the next touch at 340 you could get through. You'll be a little bit away from VWAP at that point. VWAP should trail up some if it does bounce, and then you should be able to get a little bit more on it. I do want to see if we can rotate more just based on the divergence here, and S&Ps is much heavier. We are below 360, so it could rotate right back down into 18,277 and stay range bound until tomorrow. Right? You should be cautious on playing any breakouts on a day like today, the day before the inflation numbers come, right? These numbers right here tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Central, 8:30 Eastern time. You're going to get the inflation numbers. The CPI numbers come out tomorrow. You get FOMC meeting minutes at 1 o'clock. So these numbers are going to move markets. They are going to, that's what the market does, is it seeks for price to be traded at, and then also looks for new information to drive it to new levels to keep this game going and going and going. So if there's no numbers, nothing coming out, no news, I mean, if you go on to here, you got Market Watch or Bloomberg or anything, if there's no like headlines here, there's nothing this is all opinion stuff right now. Cautious trading as inflation data looms, right? So this is the kind of information that you're looking at to show what's going on. Bloomberg, right? You don't really have much heavy news right now. You have a lot of opinion stuff going on. I don't have any sort of headlines that say, okay, exclusive. Ukraine says it's behind blaze on Russian warship in Baltic Sea. Nothing here is new information. Nothing here pushes markets into new territory, right? So you can anticipate range-bound type trading. There is opportunity because with the NASDAQ, these ranges are, from 277 to 360. You're looking at 300, 100-point range at least there, and 100-point range back, and 100 range. You got hundreds of points that you can be capturing, and we just made $400 on how many points? Right here. That's what did I catch? I want to be pretty exact. Our trade here, 430. We entered at 378.80. We'll call it there. 378.80 down to 357. Right? 11.5 points. 11.5 points will get you $430 contract. Hundreds of points each direction. There's opportunities to be had in the NASDAQ. Pretty much in every range bound, except for maybe last night on the overnight session. There was straight flat chop. Not a lot going on there. If you are in New York, like I said, I'm going to find the email that Dex sent, and I'll post up a little bit of information on it. 230 Fifth Avenue. It's a rooftop. You got good views of the Empire State Building. We're going to do a trader meetup. I believe a representative from Lightspeed will be there, so you'll get some real inside information on markets on the trading platform. I mean, if you are trading equities, Lightspeed is that gold standard of trading platforms. So having somebody there from Lightspeed is a really cool opportunity to kind of pick their brain, see what kind of connections you can make up there, and then it's a really good way to go. So I'm going to go into my stats here. Since yesterday we did a little bloop, a little dippity-doo. We got our first loss yesterday. You could see the days we execute, you got to divide these by 2. For some reason on this platform, it's showing double the positions. I guess it's every execution and not every trade. So 1 trade, 1 trade, 1 trade, 2 trades, 1 trade, 6 trades here. It started to get into that 4, 5, 6 trades. That's when I tend to get a little bit red. I mean, I could have been back probably even because of just my executions were good as far as entries are concerned. I was slightly tight with my stops, and that's how you get drawn down. Because, I mean, realistically, my levels, I've been really, really patient. You can see every day this week. Even during this, like to lose 526 on these trades with 3 losers, I took quick losses on those, and then the price moved in my direction pretty much every single time. So now we are starting to hold below 60. Today is going to be I'm going to hop off the stream a little bit early. I have a haircut. Got to prepare for Friday. Saturday's business meeting with Tradecaster streamers. So I got to look good for that. Also, it's very rare for me to get haircuts. So my appointment was today, and I can't really move it. So this breakthrough 340 here could be a good opportunity for you. You are below VWAP. You are going to break through a key level from yesterday that was acting as resistance. That's right. You held above, held above, held above. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. If this buyer disappears, then you may get another selling opportunity right through this 340 level. I don't know if it's this touch or if it's going to be next touch. But like I said, Microsoft is selling off. We are below the key levels that could help us short. NVIDIA is pushing down on the lows. That's my only concern, is that 863 here on NVIDIA is a major support for it. So this probably doesn't break here. And look, you can see that wick. Yeah, so I'm going to hop off early today off the stream, especially I'm only looking for AA plus setup. Really would have been this one right here at that retouch, the retest here, and then the breakdown. Could have took the opening range breakdown again, right? If we went and waited after that bounce to the overnight high, you break through once again down through this low. Could have caught the same exact trade once again, but this time obviously it would have been to VWAP because VWAP has been pulled up higher from that. So that would have been that good second entry. I would not have been opposed to taking this a second time. However, once I took this first one, kind of slow myself down a bit, get myself into a good headspace, and execute 100% on a well planned out next trade. This little bounce here could give you that little confidence to go for it, but once again, we're catching that bounce from the VWAP. Apple is catching a bid, meaning NVIDIA is rolling some. That inverse correlation seems to be pretty good indication of what's happening with those two names. So if that's something that you're interested in trading, definitely take a look. Look at the charts side by side. You could even overlay them, I'm sure. The inverse correlation between Microsoft and, NVIDIA and Apple. We are sitting here in the funded account just shy of back to even on the week. One trade here. Going to show the entries because that's what we do. We shorted on this candle here, but we got out at, what I say, the order was 78. Oop, trades. 357. Trade 1. Short at 18,378. 50. And then this is win plus 480 or 430. I'm sorry. Trying to give myself an extra couple dollars. There you go. Trade 1 short on that candle there. And we got the W there, 1 win, 430. You can see if you're new to this stream or you haven't been around since I updated some of the layout, I feel like I did a better job that makes it easier for you guys to see kind of what I'm doing and doing it as transparent as possible. You can see the account that I'm on, right? You could see I'm in here. My mouse is not, I'm not changing shit. I'm not doing anything. This is the account that we're on. So if this has ever changed, if it's something different, then you'll see it. The gold means that this is a funded account with TopStep. We are on the TopStep X platform here, which is TopStep's proprietary platform where they use TradingView charts. It's integrated, all that, but it's very good. Every day it gets some little bug fixes here and there, so you're able to improve functionality on a daily basis. But right now we're funded with them through this platform, so this is the only thing you're going to be seeing. You will see this chart here. This is my Quant Tower. I use the delta indicator there on that one and the depth of market that I pay for my personal brokerage. But I'm focused on one account at a time. This heaviness right here could break this 40 level here and hold below VWAP. So if you are some sort of VWAP entry person where I'm not, watch this 40 level, because if we can hold below VWAP and break below 40 or this 39.50, then that could rotate us still further to the downside, especially with the S&Ps right here looking to crack and make new lows as well. So just be mindful of that. I am talking through my platform here. You got the account. So if I'm on this one, this is my funded account. You can see it always. My current P&L balance. I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to leave it the way it is. I don't care if you know how much I have. I just want you to see exactly what I'm doing and how much I've made on this account specifically. This is MLL is your max drawdown limit, max loss limit. And this is the balance that I cannot go below before losing this account. We want to get this number to 0. That means that we've made at least $2,000, and then that drawdown stops at 0. It never follows you past that 0 balance, right? So the reason I want to build that to zero obviously that means I'm doing better, I'm doing well, and I'm growing the account. But also, as you take withdrawals from this balance number, that still stays at zero. So I don't want to be taking withdrawals right now. Like, let's say I have enough days where I could take a withdrawal and I could take 50. I'm only going to have a small little drawdown, right? So if I get this all the way up to zero and I can build a bigger buffer, then you can see whatever this balance is all we have as far as drawdown is concerned. So you want to give yourself as much buffer as you can while also still taking money out of the market. So that's a very fine line I've walked over the course of the years with Top Step, where I've gotten myself into a little trouble and didn't quite get my buffer big enough. And then this number here is the unrealized P&L. If we're in a position, this number will be changing. It'll jump from green to red or whatever if we're up or down. And then the dollar amount that we're up is right here. And then this bar here that you could see, if I was in any sort of drawdown like yesterday, you could see it. That gold bar comes out a little bit. That's your how much towards your daily loss limit you have, which is $1,000. So if you hit off on $1,000 daily loss limit, Top Step locks you out no matter what. My personal daily loss limit is right around that $500 mark, right? You saw that yesterday. I locked myself out of the account once we hit off around that five. I mean, I was a little bit more than five, but pretty much right at that five is what pretty much gives me two full $250 risk losses, right? So if I have two A+ setups that I just leave and let that thing sit above the high of the day or something like that, and I hit off on it pretty fast, then I'm done for the day, right? I don't want to take more than two big full losses in a row because I know I start to get tilty in that manner, and then there's no reason to max draw down because that means you're getting way too close to that max loss limit there, right? So yesterday we hit off on our 500 personal limit. I was not mad at any of my entry criteria. I was more disappointed that I didn't catch that second entry on the short in the morning early. That really would have changed this week completely because, we did today, pretty much would have been done. This entry right here, I called it out. I mentioned it. I said, this is going to happen here. We had this wedge pattern forming. We had a double top. We were at overnight highs. Everything was lining up perfectly. Delta divergence. The first breakdown failed. So we supported this trend line here. Once this thing cracked, we were at 60, which is that key level that I look at. I mean, everything lined up perfectly. Could have caught that full move there. And I decided to not execute on it. I called it out and I said, no, I'm going to wait a second. And then once you wait a second, this is a 1 minute candle. So you can see how fast it moved down, right? So today we were going to be a little more aggressive on our setups. We saw it. We took it. Capitalized on it. Good. Make the adjustments as you see them. Don't overdraw down yourself. And then everything is going to take care of itself. If you continue to execute and adjust based off if you just keep making the same mistake, and not learning from it, then yeah, you're not learning, you're not growing. But if you make a mistake and you are in tune with your market and you say, okay, I did this, I want to do this differently, and then actually execute on what you did differently, even if the result is sort of similar or you still are, at least you're making adjustments. As you make your adjustments, don't over adjust, but make sure you do things that are trying to improve yourself. This is where I would be interested now, looking at this, right? Heaviness, S&P's looking to break this low. We bounced off of here, cleaned up this little high here. We sweeped it some. This could be an interesting short level if it does break that 40. I think maybe more convincing if it gets through it because of this manipulation right there. And you're now kind of doing this little dance there. You're doing this little dance here. If that holds, then good for it. But you got that going on. You got VWAP right here. You got 40. You break through that 39.40, that 39.50 level. I think down into 320. That's a good target for that. However, I would like the full rotation all the way down to 277 if we're going to continue to stay range bound until tomorrow morning. That's why I think that this short is more likely than not because of the information. So there it goes. There's that short down. I'm not taking this trade because I am too close to VWAP. I'm not a VWAP entry person. I'm trying to do good A plus setup type trades for me. This is probably an A, right? Everything confluent. You could take that short with confidence. However, it could be a sweep and a rotate, right? But I think everything is heavy. I think all factors considered, the rotation to the other end of the range is more likely than any sort of breakout to the high side, especially with a hold of VWAP. Microsoft is selling, so that should give you a little bit of help. Apple is getting bid up above 169, trying to approach that 170 mark, and NVIDIA broke the low. Amazing correlation there. So NVIDIA breaking that low, that's really going to give you, and it's really at lows from the most recent future. That's just the newest low is 856.05, and we are right on that, kind of approaching that level. So that's a concern for a bounce. But if NVIDIA is going to be heavy and melt through this previous key level here, then you're going to be looking at some heavy markets coming in. Everything's been reliant on the NVIDIA bid. It's been carrying markets. I think you're going to rotate back to 277. If NVIDIA cracks at 856, that's going to be an interesting level to be mined. I don't know where it's going to go from there. Here's your rotation from the overnight high to VWAP, a support on VWAP, a manipulation, maybe trying to get buyers to get involved on a bounce off of VWAP, flush it again, retest VWAP, and then see if you're going to get that complete continuation. We have overnight lows, we have previous day lows, we have that 277 level. Pretty much everything lines up for this to be your target on the bottom end. However, you do have a bit of a wedge, right? If it does hold and break above the wedge, then maybe a leg up. But because I said that you do have to 400 to still kind of keep this range intact. So if we are going to start to be like stair-stepping to the upside in anticipation for the number, that also could be a factor. So if you're not going to get followed through kind of quick on this, then you might want to be cautious. But if you're into holding for full loss, any sort of, if you're limiting your risk to above these levels, then you're still good, you're golden. If you're going to be holding above VWAP, that's a pretty tight risk, 36 to 46. It's still 10 points. If your entry was 40 and, you got your stops above 50, maybe that's okay still. But like I said, NVIDIA is right at this low of lows for the most recent future. So if it's going to bounce anywhere, it's going to bounce from here. And if NVIDIA bounces from here, then you are going to have a hard time getting follow through on the flush right away. It's already not flushing right away, right? I mean, it could come in at any time, but when you break a key level like this is another reason why I don't enter close to VWAP, because people build positions around VWAP. So price likes to do dances, except for you can see right here with NVIDIA, with the S&Ps, it just cut right through. That's the kind of cut you want to see some heaviness. This S&P heaviness is nice for the NQ to continue down. I just don't like my position to dance around my entry, because that means that it's a 50-50, right? 50-50 that it either bounces or rolls. Whichever way it does go, it's probably going to go with, a little bit of volume and then start to continue back that way. That's why this level is important to me, this 40 level. The level is important because of reasons like this. Price wants to be executed here. Trades want to happen here, so it's drawn to this level. This level, to me, at this point, has no longer become an entry criteria for me. It's become a target, right? That's just in my eyes. If somebody wants to be so, some people's targets are some people's entries, and vice versa, right? This is like that's how this game works. That's how trading happens. Because if I'm willing to sell it here, you're willing to buy it here. That's how the trade occurs. So if you're buying and I'm selling, it's unlikely that we're both exiting. There is a chance, but more likely one person's trying to get in, one person's trying to get out, thinking that this is either going to go up or this is going to go down, right? So there's a chance that, if I'm selling this off and this is my target and I want to buy it here to get out and you want to sell here to get in, maybe you're thinking that it's going to go short and then boom, it's bid up. Buyers start to step in, more people start to buy it up, then that's what happens because there's a major level of support. So this close to VWAP, this blue line is more of a I'm interested level over the course of the last few weeks. It's not my you got to get in here level. This is actually dead center of my range for the most part, right? VWAP's here, VWAP's flat for the day, so it's not giving me direction. I took my entry criteria right off the jump, took that first trade, caught those points, got out. We are looking at we were looking at this again to try and hammer a second. I just didn't catch that second one. I'm fine with that. It's okay. I definitely should have. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. Always, it's so easy to trade in hindsight. Yeah, I could have entered here. I could have entered there. I could have entered there. I just wasn't ready for it. Talking through some executions and some stuff. As I mentioned, with the potential to get up into 440, that's why I was a little cautious because I thought maybe if we do crack the high up into that 440 is that next key level of interest. So if we get above and then rotate back down, this blue line here is just an interest level. This 414 level, just something that I'm interested in. What I trade off of are these levels right here. Overnight high, previous day high, overnight low, previous day low, and then I also use key levels on this chart right here. You can see longer term levels that have been respected. This is drawn up well before this week. If you go to my write-up in the alerts tab in the Tradecaster lobby, if you're in YouTube, if you go to the description of this, you can click the Google Docs document. I make it public. Anybody who has the link can access it, see what I look at for the week. I mentioned from Sunday night into Wednesday morning, this is the price action that you're going to see. And to no surprise, that's exactly what we got. We had good opportunities yesterday. We executed, and we just didn't let our trades do their thing. And that's how I got myself into drawdown. Today, we made the adjustment. We took the aggressive approach. We let it breathe just a bit, and then we got rewarded for it by trailing pretty much exactly how we should have, right? Because we trailed out right at the bottom there. Not counting the wick, but for the most part, we did a good job. But like I said, these yellow lines, the yellow dashed lines, are what I'm looking at as long-term, key, psychological, important levels that I will be trading around, right? If I'm in between the middle of those levels, I don't want to be executing. Right now, you can see price right on that 360 level. It's going to be an interesting level here because if I hold this 30-minute close above that 360, 359.75, then I would probably consider this to start rotating back to highs and maybe push into this 340. That's why I keep mentioning the 440 level. Although it could run into some resistance there at 414 to 420, and that's what you see on my chart that I actually trade on. So this is why this level is important, right? I want it to hold above. That's when you start to look bullish. If it's going to wick it and hold it below that rotation back down to 277 is what I'm looking for. And I find that the rotation is probably more likely than the breakout, but leading into the number tomorrow, maybe people positioning themselves for either a higher inflation number or something like that that's going to keep the Fed from cutting rates. They may position themselves higher to sell off for tomorrow. So I'm not keeping that scenario out of play because I do think it's a possibility that, especially with NVIDIA bouncing off its major key level low, that could give the market a reason to start to get bid back up, because if that catches a bounce, if Microsoft starts to push back up into the 427 level, Apple was rallying, which is still rallying over 170. It's sitting at exactly 170 right now, so that's a key level for it to be resisting. So just be mindful of those scenarios. That's what I'm thinking. If you want to learn how to do any of this, I'm going to start setting up my boot camp ideas, and I think that a lot of what I'm going to do is talk about how I go about pricing in my strategy. I want to talk about not my stress. So the last day of my ideas of what I'm going to be teaching and everything is going to be the execution portion, how I go about on a day-to-day basis using longer term levels and previous day shorter term levels to develop an intraday plan. That's the last day. My first few days, I'm going to talk about how I go using fundamentals, how I do price stuff into charts, how I use equities to influence my futures trading, global economic pushes more of the fundamental stuff, mental aspects of the trading game, and then also probably my price action stuff. Some of how I learned the mean reversion type trades is pretty much exactly what I do. And I'll draw up. You can learn straight technicals from anybody. I don't think that that's a value from me because I don't think I'm a master of technical analysis. I think reasonably learning to simplify is something that's what's gotten me to push to the next step of my trading journey. So I think realistically, if you start to need that next little step, then I think trying to simplify your trading as opposed to complicate it more is what's going to help you out. So after this week, look for some announcements coming about what TradeCaster is going to be providing for people and how I'm going to be a part of that. So just be mindful of that. Okay. Let's see. We are kind of pushing to that 40 level again. Sorry, I do have a day job. You can guess it by my username and my pictures. But some of the emails I have to look at because I do some investigations that I need to take care of. But looking at this chart here, I'm looking to see if the short's going to come through that 40 level or not. Looks like we supported it, broke above, got some people involved, stopped them out. Now looking to break back down, holding below 60. The hold below 60. Now the third touch of it, if we get below VWAP and below this key level, maybe that's when you get your follow through. But like I said, could be a chop the rest of the day. We could just hold with Apple catching a bid today and Nvidia now selling off and Microsoft sitting in the middle. You have conflicting Mag 7 names here. Microsoft now catching a little bit of a bid. Apple also still sitting up there at 170. Let's check Amazon. Amazon got a little bit of a wick. Google, Meta, Tesla rallying straight up. Tesla loves to take his rocket ship out for a ride every once in a while. Oh man. AMD caught a bounce. Let's see the whole Soxel sector. Pretty much just sweep some of the lows there and rotating down. So NVDA broke through that 856 level. So that heaviness is in for NVIDIA. No news on it. What is Goog doing? Goog. I love my desk, but for streaming purposes, it's kind of awkward, right? I'm pretty sure you kind of see it where I kind of lean in because I have a drawer here that has my keyboard in it. And it probably would behoove me to keep the keyboard up here for communication purposes, but also just without having to like lean back and be into the desk, because sometimes I can't get to my keyboard fast enough to check stuff out. So I do need to maybe make an adjustment here. I like having the keyboard in here because I do have kids. As you've seen, if you've been on the stream at all, they do come in here, they run around, they do stuff. I can kind of just protect my spot, my position by sliding it in, closing it up, and not locking it, but just keeping it out of touch so buttons don't get hammered and trades get entered or sirens go off on the stream or anything like that. So that's really what one of the main reasons I am hesitant to manipulate the position of where I have my keyboard. I do like the hotkey idea. Point and click slows me down, which is sort of what I need when I'm futures trading. Equities trading, it may seem like it's easier, but I find equities trading to be a bit more cumbersome if you're just going to point and click, right? When I started using hotkeys on the prop firm with T3, my executions got a lot better. I was able to set limit orders, and you want to get your fills with, let's say you're trading Microsoft and you got 100 contracts on, every penny counts. So if you're setting, and also within that kind of platform, you're providing liquidity with limit orders, so you get rebates on your commissions and stuff like that. So stopping in and out of orders and marketing in and out, you're not providing liquidity, so therefore you don't get the rebates and you're actually paying commissions. So that structure also lends you to want to get into a price point, let's say Microsoft at 427.15, maybe I want to front run it at 427.12. I'm going to set a limit order on my keyboard, and also it also matters positioning, right? It matters that way in equity in futures as well, right? You want to get in the book and be ahead of somebody else, right? So speed matters. The NQ and the S&P are so heavy, so liquid that I could be behind, unless I'm behind 100 lot, I'm probably going to get filled on an order with less slippage or even less of a chance of it just not getting filled. You've seen it here and there. You'll get into a price level and you just don't get filled. And you're like, why didn't I get filled? Well, because you weren't ahead of the person before you in the book, right? You want to get ahead of somebody. You want to have your order sitting out there, first come, first serve basis type deal, right? Just like you're waiting online at Subway. The next person to get a sandwich. They run out of meat before you get there, and you're out of luck. I've never used that analogy before, but I think it's an all right one. So, like I said, you can see my running P&L on top. I used to have the scrolling one where I had to type in my position, type out my position. I think this is much cleaner for you guys. I think it gives you more of a transparency. It doesn't rely on me typing in a number for you to be like, oh, is that a real number? What is he really trading? This, that, and the other thing. This is live, updated as I trade. I don't have to do anything with it. It's through the platform. You can see it coming. The only thing I did do to it was I just made it bigger for you to see. So this is the same bar. Like obviously you can see my mouse going into it. It's showing you, but I zoomed it in just so it's a little bit bigger for you to see, right? My mouse goes up, down, into it, right? So it's there. It's just also it's shifted over a little bit for streaming purposes so you can actually see what's going on. I don't want to be trading and having people like thinking that things are not what they seem. It's literally I just share my screen and have just little things here and there that make it a little bit better for you as a viewer. And you never can question like, hey, are we in a position or not? You can tell that we're pretty much flat right here, right? Because this unrealized P&L is at 0. Nothing's moving around up here. There's no changes in my P&L. This daily drawdown bar is pinned to 0 because we're up $427 on a day on one good trade. It's all about making that A+ execution. I think if we can get a little heavy here, if the S&Ps break and get low, the NQ could follow. I'm sorry for the cough. I talk a lot now, so my cough comes in. Oh, banana bread at work, dude. Banana bread at work, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And there's your breakdown, baby. So that level was key. 1 touch. 2 touches, 3 touches, 4. That's your true break, right? Now you're going to get that rotation down to 300. I said if you wanted to be like a quick, scalp, this short from 40 to 20. Nice quick 20 points, but obviously flush right through that 20. The full rotation is probably on. And I actually kind of was considering shorting it on this touch. But like I mentioned to you, I don't like to enter around VWAP. It is a great entrance, and I can see why. Obviously, right here, boom. The way I would, so the only reason I would have considered this entry, and you're like, hey, you just said you don't enter close to VWAP, right? Yes and no. So looking at this entry, right, we're in a downward trend for the day. We broke that opening range low. We took that good trade. Did it again. Could have taken it again. Didn't. You're sitting on top of a key level that broke yesterday after some consolidation. You're sitting on top of VWAP. So all these bounces up, a bid could catch in and then go, right? Let's say we were just shifted up a little bit higher, and this blue line was above that VWAP, and you wanted to take that short. The likelihood of the follow through VWAP is less likely for me because that target obviously normally is that VWAP. If I'm shorting away from VWAP or bidding away from VWAP, if my price level right here, this blue line, is below the VWAP, it gives you the added confidence to say, okay, I could put my stop order in here, or I could get in right below this 339, 340, and I could only risk to VWAP. If I risk to VWAP, it actually limits my risk, because if it breaks above, you think, all right, then we're going to probably rotate at least into the highs if it gets above VWAP. So I could limit my risk, take a cheap trade, and then look at this risk to reward right there. If this is your entry, 37, right? If your position's here at 37, you could risk right there. Or if you wanted to go full 10-point risk, you have no issue there. And your targets are all the way down here at these overnight lows, right? So you're risking 10 points to make 82 points or more. Probably more, based on the way this is rotating. Although 277 just came in, so you would be very interested in that as a target. And there you go. Look at that. Right into it. And how many minutes did that take? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you add this one, 5 minutes. So something to think about when I start talking about trades around VWAP, and I say I don't really take entries around VWAP. If I'm holding below it and it's a short idea, then I will take it. If I'm holding below it and it's a long idea, I'm not going to take it. Same on the other end. If I'm looking to get short and my level is above VWAP and price is still above VWAP, I'm not going to short it through VWAP. But if we're holding below it, I mean the level's below it, then that break is probably going to lead to something like this. And as I mentioned, I didn't take this short, so this position is not something I took. But you can see how the reasoning behind it could make sense. And I was talking to myself in my head thinking, hey, I'm probably thinking about it. But I just got finished telling you why I don't enter at these kind of levels. But there's a reason why that entry does work out. This number calls me every single day, and it's a spam call. And I hate it. That's one thing about having your personal and your business lines all kind of tied together. And now you're in that purple liquidity zone there that's going to kind of give you, in both the S&Ps and in the NQ. We just flushed overnight low, previous day low. Now I'm going to start getting interested, for me personally, because the same reason on the high end that I didn't want to get involved in longs on breakouts, the same reason on the low end, I think that this expansive break to the downside that we've been seeing is going to run into some resistance here and try to rotate back up into that 300 level. But if this is getting completely heavy, sellers could step in, right? And saying, like I said, I'm not going to eliminate the follow through as a possibility, because there is that thought process of we're going to position for tomorrow's number, right? So if they're positioning down for a number to possibly beat and be good for a great cut, we could bid it up and be at cheap prices. So it goes both ways. Price just goes where it needs to go. And we have no say in the matter except for trying to catch a little piece of the ride, capitalizing off of it. So I am going to be mindful for a bounce here. I'm going to watch the delta here. I want to see if delta makes, give me some sort of divergence strategy set up here. You can see I have a liquidity zone there drawn up. You are starting to get that bid back into that. I want to see that 277 level get probably touched. Then I want to see it come back down into here. And then maybe we could rotate up. But it's very heavy right now. So I'm going to be cautious on trying to catch a falling knife. But this is the area where we would be interested. And this triple tweezer type bottom here, liquidity grab on the 1 minute is an interesting setup. I want to see what NVIDIA is doing. Did NVIDIA reclaim? No, it flushed it. Apple went for a ride and then took a dump. Although we are sitting at 169, 169.14, so above 169 could keep this up. And Microsoft at the low end of the range of the day, flushed the low of the day, and now is kind of trying to hold down there. So we're going to be seeing if it holds or if it continues to just sweep the low and come back up. I would like to see this push down to 208, then start to recover. If we recover the previous day low, then I would be interested in possibly looking to go long through the overnight low and then rotate back up to VWAP area. You saw yesterday that happened. Just check the chart I'm on. Yeah. Okay, so yesterday we rotated off the high down into the low, kind of ground back up right into the high, double topped it, rotated back down to the low, bounce. And then we grounded out the rest of the day on that bounce. So if we do hold here, it's a very similar setup. Bounce, touch it again. Although it could be that good third touch of that level to be breaking through. So I am going to watch it. You can see price trying to push lower. Delta right here at the bottom of the screen where I'm circling, not trying to push lower as heavy. If you start to see a bigger push in line with what's going on here, then maybe it'll tell you that there's sellers stepping in. But this tells me that there's buyers right here. A little bit of green, a little bit of red, holding that area. I'm going to get rid of this line because it doesn't matter. Yesterday's level. If this flushes the low, and this delta is still kind of creeping up, give me that long, baby. Oof. I don't. Like I said, the follow through on breakouts to me is going to be so delta. You can see delta not playing through. We wicked the bottom. Delta did not come to the bottom. Let's see what happens here. If it's going to follow through or not. But I think we could probably confidently do a breakout from these levels. If that's going to come in. Still nothing on that. Delta. If you get back above previous day lows, back above this candle, you could probably look to try and rotate back up
on a bounce, but like I said, that 208 probably comes into play here because of that key level. $200. Did Delta catch up? Delta's catching up, right? If we can crack the low now, then this is following through. But you can see big difference between how many sellers are trying to step in and how the price is acting. So now that we've made this sort of, new lower low, I'm be cautious on follow through because I don't know if things are going to follow through today on a trend. Although, like I said, the rotation once again, overnight high to overnight low, happened again. 2 days in a row. I told you, overnight high to overnight low, it came. We're thinking now, is today going to be an inside day, another rotational type day? Are we getting any new information? Is there any new information that's coming out that's selling this market off? Refresh Bloomberg, no new information. Market Watch. U.S. stock edged lower as CPI, PPI inflation data looms. No new information. Just looming data points for tomorrow. This level here, we're pretty much right on it where we're going to wick off the bottom. I would be interested if this delta does come in here trying to push higher. We are diverging pretty nicely. So I think that rotation from overnight low back up, at least 50% of this move will kind of try and come in, maybe up to 80, 50 to 80. Take a long through that overnight low. Being below the previous day low does make a difference, though. That's actually something that I'm cautious of. But if it holds above it and then breaks it, look to go. Microsoft's still pretty heavy, though. So Microsoft broke the low of the pre-market session, so that gives us more heaviness. Delta's flattening out. Price, bounce. Didn't bounce high, so it's kind of congruent in that manner. $9:39 a.m. We have only been sitting about an hour into the market session. We're up one good trade here, $427. If we get a break above this overnight low, we're gonna look for a rotation up closer to the 80s and then back up to VWAP. I don't know if we get a full rotation, but I am interested. A break above that 53 could tell us that we are sweeping the low and then rotate back to that other end and stay rotational, stay range bound until that CPI number comes out tomorrow. Right, we flushed that low. You're getting Delta to be strong enough to hold, making new lows on price, not making new lows on Delta. But now you can see price action starting to get a bit heavier. The dome is bouncing around a bit more. So you are at a level of interest. As I mentioned, the 208 level is right here, kind of an important level. Could get all the way down to 172 since we did break through and we are in the middle of a range. So I'm going to be actually standoffish here, wait to see, because even though it is a good level here, that's 77, we're still kind of away from it on my chart here now. You can see it there. We're away from that 77 and we're kind of middle of the range. So this 172 level here could come in now that we've cracked that 8. This number, I just drew this up. Kind of was just giving myself an idea of potentially where this could go. So, just based on the expanding break down and back into this area. So that's the bottom end of this micro channel type expansion consolidation. But you can see 30-minute candles are all pretty heavy. to jump in front of this and go long is hard to decide at right this second. Flush 208, just touch 200. If you crack 200, 177, 172 comes in. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their day. I am just sitting here 1 for 1 on the day. Look, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hopefully that didn't mess up the live. Does that mess up the live? I don't think it does. It should still be live. All right, there we go. Better. I accidentally hit the wrong button on the chat on the thing there. So there's that 177 looking to come into play. I'm definitely not trying to get in front of this right now. That short through this 40 level, though, boy, oh boy, did that play. I talked it out as it was happening. Maybe you're looking to get into this break. We got another manipulation up. This next break down, I mean, it was an A setup, and I was about to draw the plus out when it broke. So, could have been, one more minute of me looking at it, feeling the heaviness of it, using my intuition to being below VWAP. This is something I am going to be very interested in right here, this level, to review for myself for later. So if you miss something, or if you miss something, or you see something that you should have been paying attention to, or whatever, like, just put it on the chart. People say you got to journal this, you got to write this down, you got to do that. You're on charts that have, every single platform has some pretty decent functionality. And if you're not on a platform that has good functionality, go to TradingView, make a free account, and just chart up your, type up stuff on your charts. It'll give you a way better feel of, like, what was I thinking right there at that price point, right? Or what was I looking at? Why did I do this? I want to come back to this and notate this. So I want to review this later. Maybe I want to put it in yellow, and I want this to be like a purple or something that just stands out, it's a white arrow. There we go. A white arrow gives me some reason to come back. Why did I type this in here? I can kind of see what I was thinking. Review that later, because this right here is the next good trade that you should have taken and you did not, right? That price point was, you took this one, A+. Great job. Could have took this one, probably an A+. You could have took that one, but you didn't. Okay with both. This one, I talked it out. Kept myself out of it because of certain rules, which is fantastic. Good. Bounced again. Rules changed. Price level is about to get heavy. This started to tick up volume, right? You can see the volume node that popped in there. Broke that level with volume. I'll close right there. I didn't even have to enter on that first candle. I could have entered on that second one and been just fine, right? So we are going to review that later, and that's why I type it on there. So if that's something that you pick up from me, and you don't say I can't journal, I can't keep up with some of these apps. Some of my platforms don't connect. I have to do it. I have to make up a strategy name and type it in, and like, some people just don't like to do that stuff. I personally, I like it. I like it for visuals, data stuff. But data doesn't matter if you can't execute and you can't understand what you're looking at. So realistically, you don't need to pay for anything. You have your charts in front of you. Every chart saves for the most part. And as long as you do stuff pretty, let's say recently, and you type stuff in and you review it quickly, and you have that time to be like, all right, maybe not right this second, right? I just wrote review later. Within the next day, 2, 3, in case it gets deleted, right? That's the only thing that you got to worry about. But most of the time, I've had TradingView charts that I've saved for years. I just delete them on, as it gets too cluttered, I delete stuff, and I redraw things just to keep my levels fresh. And maybe I'm seeing the same level over again, and it's not working for me. The level is important, but it's not working. I delete things. I delete everything. And then I come back into the chart, fresh mind. Maybe I step away, or I do it another day. Maybe I'll do it on the weekend, Sunday night. And I'll go into the chart, and I'll just rechart it. And then maybe that level changed from, 18,277.50 and it moved to 280. 18,280. Now that seems like the level now, that I've drawn it out better as I've gotten more information, right? So it doesn't hurt to not journal, even pen and paper. You don't have to even do that. If you don't feel like writing things down, you have the charts in front of you. Just write things down that you think are important as you see them. Nope, this is your business. You do things the way you want to do it. If you feel like it behooves you to type things on your chart and have them there so you can see them later, so it's in your face. This is in my face. I can't miss this. If I come back later and I'm like, oh, I said to review this. I got to go back and review this. Let's see what's going on here. I don't need to review this trade. I have done this execution more times than I probably can count because I didn't keep track of how many times. I don't have a journaling software anymore. This, I know it's there, but at least I type in where I took my trade, where I got my exit, and then I can still see that I have my overnight high here, my previous day high here. Oh, I can see my entry criteria. Good. I typed it in. I got that out there. This also is a visual for the stream, so you guys can see everything that I've done. Obviously, you have the stuff there, but this doesn't auto-populate, so I put that in there. Review later. Like I said, I can't miss that. This is something that I want to execute on, and I just kept myself out of for certain criteria. But I put the review later so I can come back to it and make some adjustments to my mental state and my mental strategy here and say, obviously in hindsight, this looks fantastic, right? But is there something that could have gone wrong here that makes this not that A+ setup? I mean, realistically, once, twice, three times, this is the fourth basically attempt, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually like the fifth attempt to break through the level. The more times you knock on the door, the more chances of entering you get. So that's really where I'm at with that. I pretty much was one more knock away from entering. I just on stream, I'm talking through things. I'm trying to get things to kind of set up for me and explaining some educational aspects of the trading stuff. So I didn't execute on it, but I'm fine with that. I'm cool. No missed trades, ain't nothing. So we're down about $100 on the week. And like I said, I executed 6 trades yesterday, a little too many for my liking. I've executed 1 today. I drew down yesterday 520 something. Right now I'm up 420 something on 1 trade. So you could see the power of minimizing your losses. In the past, I probably would have kept coming back, being down 5, and there's a good chance once you're down 5, you're going to be down 1,000, and your max loss is going to get tagged. Then you're just going to feel that pressure the next day. For me to make the adjustment yesterday to go down, be in drawdown, and manually lock myself out of the count, I find that to be, if I'm going to look back at any day in this trading journey, if I go back and review my YouTube videos, my live stream, stuff like that, if I could go back to one day, let's call it in a couple months from now, and say that was the time where I made the next step and should have been doing that for years, that's the day. Yesterday was the day. And I'm going to say why when I do call that, that day, when I go back and I say, man, I'm going back to that day on April 8th, the eclipse day. I'm proud of myself. I took a losing day and I didn't exacerbate it and I didn't make it a max loss day. And I'm okay with that. The more you can be okay with taking a losing day and instead of trying to just, I'm getting it back, I'm going to hit that next one. I know it's going to come. Lock myself out, take my L on the day, follow the plan that I had going in, same plan I had today. If I was going to hit off on 5, I was going to hit that lockout button and walk away and no more trades. So if I can do that day in and day out, I made one good trade. I was done trading today. Realistically, if this doesn't set up and get back up in that area, in 5 minutes. I made $427 in 5 minutes. There's no other place you could do that. As far as at home, if I wanted to wear underwear, I could. Am I wearing pants? Do you know? Can you see? No. I am, maybe. But like I said, I executed, and I made one trade in 5 minutes that made up just about all of the losses from yesterday because I was just in a better mental state. I had a better opportunity. I came out and I made it. And I don't even need to make all of it back today. If that's the only trade I take today, that's it. I'm done. If that's the only trade I did that sets up, that's the only trade that comes in. I take it. I'm up. My day is good. It doesn't need to be I get back everything that I lost yesterday because guess what? I have Wednesday, I have Thursday, I have Friday, I got next week. As long as I still have the account, as long as I'm still executing on good setups, I have my money coming. And yesterday, I'm gonna note it now. I'm gonna put it. I'll strike it on the record. This is the turning point of my trading journey right there. That day, and it's a losing day, but it's a good losing day. It's a day where your levels were fantastic. My levels yesterday, if you would have took the trades that I talked about all day, you'd been up a lot. If you were able to just manage your position and your size better than I did, right? My levels were great. My idea for going into the week played out perfectly, right? I said we're going to stay flat. We're going to stay range bound. It's Monday. We had a lot of movement Thursday and Friday. Market needs to rest. Market rested. Market stayed exactly between my 277 and my 360, give or take 6 points there and here and there. It worked out like perfection. I still lost money, but I didn't lose in a way that was bad, right? I executed on plans. I took A+ setups. The only thing that I may have done was try to be a little quick on the first break or the second break of the 340 level yesterday. Otherwise, everything else lined up exactly how we wanted it to. And if I was able to just click the button, walk away, go somewhere else and come back, I would have been up $1,000 instead of I was down 5. But that's okay because I understand my risk management and my tolerance. So to be able to be like, okay, everything that I saw was correct except I lost money, but I did it in the right way for myself, for my strategy, for my mental game. To lock out down money, knowing that the next trade could get me back, that's a big step in the right direction for me. So, I'm telling you guys this, but I also just am telling it to myself. So I hope that, come the end of April, you guys are going to be like, man, remember that day you said that the eclipse day was your turning point? Damn, you were right, man. That was the only losing day you had all month. Or you really limited your losses and you learned to be okay with it because then the next day you came back and you made $427 in 5 minutes. You tell me. Don't have to get it back all today. Nvidia is still rolling over. 856.11 broke. There's no end in sight for Nvidia's selling. There is probably an end in sight because there's no way that it doesn't have levels here. So let me go into the 4 hour. Oh, we broke through another key level here. Nvidia is heavy. It broke down the low of 831.65. Yeah, I think now Nvidia has to the top of the gap. 826, maybe it has to. It's just going. Nvidia, hopefully Nancy Pelosi sold. I'm sure she did. She knows where the tops are. This is also what I look for because if I get this diminishing like downward wedge here, right? This kind of wedge pattern here. I'll tuck it into the bodies. You have the same deal going in Delta. So Delta made new lows. Price made new lows. You're coming down here. You start to see Delta tick above here. This price start to get above. Then you start to see you're maybe turning around the other way if you're patient enough to wait at this next key level here. It's hard to go long this extended to the downside, although we ticked right off on that 172.50. Bang. There's my next yellow dotted line. Where I'm interested, what I'm looking at. Delta is coming along. I'm looking for something. Give me a second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 64% long here. Still good. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Now, this could limit your risk. 80 down to 60. It's still a little bit wide. If you're trading micros or trading small, or you have a big buffer or whatnot, this you could kind of give it to the bottom. But I don't know if I trust it to be not the bottom yet, with NVIDIA being so heavy. But it did recover that low, so potentially there's a bounce in the cards here. I would say I'm gonna draw a line, an arrow up right here, right now. Market at 9:57 a.m. I don't trade within 5 minutes of the hourly close, so I'm not executing on this right now. But mark my words, that's that level right there. That level. I am going to say that's the low of the day. That's going to be it. That arrow right there, called on stream, type it. Called low of day here. There, low of day. Let's see if that comes and plays out. It's okay to be wrong. I don't care. However, based on my levels and the way price has been acting, I want to say that that's low of the day due to tomorrow being the CPI number. I'm not into the business of calling lows, calling highs. I'm in the business of finding good areas to execute of limiting risks. So, my key level of 172 is looking like it wants to be low of the day. 160. 1 minute till 10 a.m. here Central, 11 o'clock Eastern time. You're going to get into that lunch hour. I am probably going to wait. I'm going to see if this plays a little bit, and then I'm going to lock myself out. I said I do have to cut out a little early today from the stream. Tomorrow may be a busy day for myself with the kids around again, with the wife having to do some stuffs. I have to be managing child and trading and business and whatnot. Good news is I'm off from work tomorrow. But Thursday, I do have an early morning training, so I will not be on stream. Friday, I'll be in an airplane up to New York. So if I do have anything going on Friday, it may be from a laptop and it may be not streamed. But I'm going to see if it'll let me stream from my laptop, or even I might live stream on my phone on Instagram, depending on where I'm at, what I'm doing. If I'm in the air or if I've landed and I'm waiting in the airport or something, I may look to trade and you might see it. So be mindful of a Friday potential, but I will be headed up to the Tradecaster meeting, 230 Fifth Avenue, New York City, a beautiful venue. Nothing short of breathtaking views up there, and it's going to be full of great traders. This entire community has that spot from 5 to 7. Be there. Come show your face. Meet us all. Meet me. Meet Deck. Meet AK. Meet everybody. Meet Caesar. Get everybody. We're all going to be out there just having a good time, talking trading, and networking and getting everything going. I believe I saw that Deck got trade Lightspeed to come on out, so that's going to be awesome too. If you could get in the head of Lightspeed and maybe see, network a little bit, develop something, it'd be very, very interesting to see how much further you'll go. Knowing your fellow chatmates and your streamers and all that. Face-to-face meetings is what life's all about. So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to on Saturday. We are doing a little something. Not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it yet, so I'm not gonna. But just look out for some announcements coming in the near future with Tradecaster. This community, I really feel like there's a lot of really smart people that are streaming, but also there's so many good people in the chats. There's so many good people here looking to learn to better their lives, to be better streamers, better people, better traders, I should say, not streamers. I'm trying to be a better streamer, trying to be a better trader. I'm trying to be a better family person. Learning to balance everything. I think TradeCaster gives you that opportunity because I think that Deck really does care about the people who are in the community. A lot of people are, I mean, he makes good money trading, man. You see it on a day-to-day basis, right? You see it. It's there. And TradeCaster's like, his baby, and he's looking to grow it. And I think he really cares about his community members because he sees the power of how trading can change your life, and he wants people to do that. I think that's there's a lot of people in this industry that aren't that way. They'll sell you courses and they'll sell you things just because they need to make money 7 different ways. They may be good traders, but also they're just salesmen, and that's just what they do. But I don't think that's how Deck is. I don't think that's how he operates. And I think TradeCaster, he does a lot for his members, and he wants this thing to grow organically. He wants it to grow in a way that's going to benefit its members more than it benefits him. But obviously, long term, if it grows, he grows, right? That's good. But when it comes down to it, this needs to be good for you as a patron of the community, more so than it needs to be good for him for business purposes, right? Because he's got his trading, he's good, he knows what he's doing. I think realistically, having a community like this built for trading, built for ease of use, right? For people to come in and see different people, different types of trading, different types of things. It's a really, really good opportunity to get involved in early, right? Early days of stuff, and being a day one. I was always proud of like things that I got into early. It didn't have to be something money making or career wise, just some fun stuff stuff that you're like, man, yeah, I was there day one. That's fun. That was good. I saw the ups and downs, and now I can see where we've gotten to. And I think that's something that I think the human nature that's what it's looking for. So, enough sucking off the TradeCaster. If you're on YouTube, head over to the link in the chat to get into the TradeCaster 7-day free trial. Check it out. Come on over to 235th on Friday night in New York City. 5 o'clock, I believe he said, 5 o'clock. So head on over there. Take a subway. Be careful. Don't get pushed on the tracks. I'm kidding. Don't kill me, Kaz. I think we'll be seeing that arrow playing as the low of the day is likely right here. I think this is low end. You do with that information what you want. That's my idea. Unless this is barring any new information. That's my disclaimer. I should type it into my called low of day here. Disclaimer. I am not a financial expert. I do not provide financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. But I'm calling low of day at that 160.75. And I think that we're starting to curl back into the high side and push back up into that VWAP area, that 300. Yeah, like I mentioned, just do with that information what you may. Believe that just barring any new news or new information. Disclaimer sent. If you get something that pushes it, that is new information. That is going to make the market do what it wants to do and give you that push. 10:05 a.m. I got to cut out slightly early today to make it over to my haircut appointment. And then I got to run some errands for the coffee business, the Day Trading Coffee Co. We are going to be involved. If you're in the Houston area and you want to play golf for a good cause, the Houston Police Department started a baseball team recently. I was a part of the New York version of that, and I tried to facilitate some of the help of setting that team up. I think they're the outlet of having sports for cops and everything like that is a good thing. Doing positive things in the community, doing fundraising, all that stuff, raising money for charities. April 25th, they're doing a golf outing that's raising money for the season, and they need some help. So if you're interested in playing some golf in the Houston area and want to do that, hit me up, DM me, do whatever you got to do. Head over to my Instagram, Policing Pips, or Day Trading Coffee Co., and you will see the flyer and all the information on there. So it's a good thing. But we'll be there. Day Trading Coffee Company will be over there serving up some free coffee, just showcasing what we got as far as products are concerned, and having a nice day of golf out there. Getting out there and putting boots on the ground, facilitating, more brand notoriety. And golfing is another thing that we love to do. I'm interested in these longs. However, Delta is doing good. I'm going to probably hold off here because I'm going to wait. I'm going to look to see if the overnight low gets to break and push up. But you can see, as we get to our level, 172.50 was the level that I was interested in. This 77 is drawn up on here, but the 72.50 is important. Look at that 77 act strong as well. You get back above here. You start to push in. Things start to work in your favor. It's going to start to rotate back up, push into VWAP, then see what happens from there. Risk to reward kind of diminished now, but you can see as you approach your level, you start to get these wedge patterns that do break and do play out pretty frequently. For this overnight level to be dead center of the range between 277 and 177, I don't prefer it. That's a 100-point range. And to enter right here above that overnight low, it does give you that great opportunity to take the long, but also at the same time, it doesn't feel A+ this time around. It feels like it may get to that overnight low and just kind of hang around it some. I'm more interested in a short from 277. Not 270. Oh, maybe a short from 277. More interested in a short from 360. This is what we're going to watch. See if 277 holds and we rotate back to this low. Or if this overnight low breaks and holds, then you can push up. But I think that VWAP coming in hot is going to hold us down here. And I don't know if I want to be involved long with VWAP so close. Listen to my rules. They're not hard and fast. They're general. They get me interested. Then I let price tell me what it wants to do at those areas. There are some hard, fast rules, right? It's very, it's not going to be like numerically based, but the hard rules do come into play with certain setups. I'm getting a little lightheaded. I think that's probably a good reason not to execute the trade. Anybody's got any questions, comments, concerns? Normally we do a full week, Monday through Friday, 8:30 Central to 11 o'clock Central time. This week is a little wrench thrown in the works. We are flying up to New York Friday for some TradeCaster meetings Friday and Saturday. Obviously, Friday night is that meetup that I just mentioned earlier. Come on down to 235th. Check it out. Doing some other meetings on Saturday for the TradeCaster stuff. I'm going to try and meet up with the roaster in New York and talk to him about some stuff. I'm going to spread the good word on the Day Trading Coffee Company and create some content, hopefully dish it out. If you are on YouTube, check out any of the videos that I put out. It's all fun. I don't try to do anything that's too serious. And then I am going to start posting a little bit of education stuff, but more so longer term. And then also maybe look out for some TradeCaster stuff and announcements coming soon. So just look out for it. I am going to be doing a giveaway once this stream on TradeCaster hits 50. So if you're on YouTube and you want to be a part of the giveaways, hop into the TradeCaster lobby. It's 50. It's the 50 people number is when I'm going to start giving stuff away, but it's free for 7 days. And then after that trial expires, you can still access my room. So no harm, no foul. There's no reason not to sign up and create your free account. And then eventually, if you think that you want to pay and get yourself, one of these trades could pay for a few months, if not a year or a lifetime membership, depending on who you're following, what kind of account size you got, and all that. So, I don't know. It's definitely worth the free trial. That's for sure. Here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to lock this baby out. I'm locking out my funded account. This account has been manually locked out. I've explained it over the last few weeks. I'm going to keep explaining it until it's kind of like common that you see it. You'll notice that I'm not able to execute any more trades on this funded account anymore the rest of the day because I hit the magic lockout button on Top Step X platform. What that does is I don't have access to Top Step's backend. I don't have a way to get into this. And if there is a way, I'm not looking for it. I don't want to find it. I want this to be what it is, exactly how it is right now. If I'm up or down on the day and at a certain time period where I feel that that's it, I should not execute anymore the rest of the day. My headspace is gone. I'm in drawdown. I made enough money on the day that I think I can reasonably step away, or I made all the executions that I think are going to play out, and I'm approaching the time I'm going to get off the stream, and I don't want to come back when I'm not on stream. I only want to trade on stream for you guys in this account so you can see it. If I do some stuff overnight in a combine or something like that, you don't need to see that. Some of that stuff is just me working out some kinks on some overnight strategies and stuff like that. If I do trade a end of the day, if I get a chance to get on the stream or something, you'll see it. You'll see me get on here end of day, and it'll be a thing. Hopefully I could come on and stream it. All I got to do is hit the live button and it'll go. So that's that. But right now, I'm locked out of this. No more trades for me today, especially with the shortened week and talking through that mental aspect of everything, how I believe yesterday is probably the turning point of my entire career. Now, I'm not going to kid about that. I think there's only a few days you could say that about your trading journey. I mean, I think overall you can start to notice it at different steps. But the day that you're okay to lock yourself out, when you still have drawdown left to use, or you still have the ability to kind of, I can bounce back or whatever, the ability to say, I hit my daily loss limit. I know that there may be other executions that I'll see that probably will get me in, but I'm not going to be able to fully be able to execute on my plan emotion free without hitting. I'm going to hit that button. Lock myself out, got myself out with the loss. I took 6 trades yesterday to draw down 500. And I mean, really, like I said, it could have been $1,000 a day on the green side because all my levels were great. My entries were good. I followed my rules up until I trailed out of some stops slightly quicker. I know I trail fast, but some of these I trailed slightly quicker than even then. And then the one that I didn't enter was the only other thing where I'm like, I'm going to adjust today based on that. So today I did that. I adjusted. I was aggressive. First trade of the day, take it, go, bam, get out. You see the setup, take it, limit your risk, maximize whatever you feel like on your trailing rules, and get out. And then I'm happy to make enough today that gets me closer to having a green week, but without having to be like, you know what? I lost 527 yesterday. I'm $100 away. I can make 100 more. How many times do you tell yourself that? I can make 100 more. I can make 100 more. And then you take a $50 loss. Oh, it's only $50. I can make that 150 back. Then you see a setup that doesn't normally fit your criteria. You don't enter. You hammer it. I can make that back. I can make that back. And then you trail tight. You trail tight because you think, oh, I can make it back, but I don't want to lose anymore, so I'm gonna trail that shit tight. And then it goes in your favor and just wicks you out by a tick, and then it runs right over. And you would have made it all back, and then some, and you would have been green. But you kick yourself because you executed the trade, and you say, damn it, I could have just left it alone. I would have been fine. Because you weren't thinking clearly here. You were not thinking clearly here. There's no need to be trading it. I don't need to make $100 more today. I just made $427.20 in under 5 minutes. I think tomorrow if I come out and I make one good A+ setup, I can make that 100. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We don't need to force it because obviously based on our strategy, we have a proven track record of the less I trade, the better executions I have. If I could limit my drawdown on one of those days, on a day where I don't execute more, you can cover your losses with one decent trade. That wasn't even a home run. That was a base hit, man. 427 on a base hit. Take it and walk away. Lock yourself out. Use this tool to your advantage. If I execute now, look, I'm switching accounts. You can see this is a combine. It shows you I'm down 197 on this combine. What am I doing over here? I'm going to try something that I'm thinking that could work out. We're right back to overnight lows, right? We're going to see. If I want to execute now, I'm off of that account. I'm off of the account that I'm in. I'm not FOMOing. I'm just going to work on something maybe. This trade here I took pre-market before I dropped my son off at school. I took the short. Where was I? I took the short up here, I think. Wherever it was pre-market. 8 o'clock. 8. So I took this short. Breakdown at this level. It went in my favor. I went to drop my son to school. I set my stop above the high, and I walked away and left. It was in the money, probably about $100 and some, and then it rotated up and stopped me out. This is just combine. It's just a combine account that you can see the balance there. I'm just shy of one good day of passing again. But I'm working on some things. I'm working on walking away, working on certain stuff. So this is the account I would come into. This is the funded account. Every time you click into it, it'll tell you it's locked out. You cannot trade it until 5 p.m. Central Time. So if you don't feel like you can control yourself, use the tools provided to you to help control your emotion. First touch of the overnight low, rejection. Are we going to push through it here? Are you going to get some volume to pick up? What's Delta doing? Higher high. Higher high. Delta's acting congruent. We're acting in the same manner that we should be. If you want this to go long, hold above this level. Russell made a V-bottom. I think in about 5 minutes or so, I'm going to have to get off the stream, get myself ready to go conquer the day here. I do have errands to run leading into Friday, so my days off I have to do. We got Frias over there texting me on the side talking about how he caught a nice long on the S&P. Fantastic. You screwed up the trailing. Yeah. So overall, we are ending the day green here. 427.21 trade. 5 minutes of the trading day, and we were done. You can see right here, this was the only trade I executed today. I'm going to get rid of the S&Ps because we don't need to see that right now because I'm done executing. We took this short through the opening range low. The opening range was right here. Opening range low, good volume, good break. Price broke through previous day high, back into the range of the previous day. Secured our profits right there. Bang, bang. That's literally, the trade only took a little more than a minute. Our trade entry, 8:33 and 43 seconds. Exit, 8:35 and 50 seconds. Oh gosh, 2 minutes. How dare I take 2 minutes to make $430? Damn. Tough life, right? This is the reason I can take and be just cautious. All right, so today the stream's going to go for another 9 minutes. I'll be done. I did mention that's probably low right here, low of the day at, what do we call it? That was 162. Low of the day is 160.75. 160.75 right there. We are into the overnight low, previous day low area. So a break above the overnight low, I anticipate 80 and probably VWAP tagged. And then just probably a rotation up into this area, but grinding, right? You saw yesterday a very similar price action once this time frame came around. It's 10, 11 o'clock. It's just going to grind a little bit. I don't think that there's going to be a ton of movement leading into tomorrow. We caught the opportunity here. I said we could have taken a second shot at it. The only thing I'm probably slightly, even remotely, not disappointed, but just like I could have really everything set up again, right? So otherwise, even this one, I'm okay with being out of this move, although I called that out as well. If you were below here, if that's your trade, this is a good entry time. And I think, like I said, I was probably 1 minute. If this candle took one more minute to close below here, I was probably looking to enter based on this VWAP criterion. Like I said, I don't use VWAP as entry. I use it as a target. But if we are at a level below the VWAP, tight to the VWAP low, then that short, if it's going to come in, you can limit your risk above it and really maximize your reward on it. You would have never really probably got stopping out if you just trailed by candle. Maybe as you approach overnight low, you probably get stopped at overnight low. I would have, because I would have trailed. I would have been looking to trail level to level. Once you get through 80, once you get through overnight low, that's really the move I would have caught, and I would have been out. I would not have caught this bottom piece. Everybody likes to think that they would have caught, I would have caught this whole move. I missed out on so much money. No, you didn't miss out on anything. You got what you got, and that's it. That's all you ever can get. It's what you get. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. That's what I always had heard from my wife. So I'm watching this. Be cautious with this here. I am going to hop off the stream. I appreciate everybody stopping by today. Cut it a little short today. I apologize for that. It's an interesting week. I do have to take care of some stuff since it is my day off, and get ready for the trader meetup this Friday. Getting over there, heading into the city, having a good time, talking trading, talking shop, maybe talking some day trading coffee co. Maybe I'll make an exclusive discount for the meetup on Friday and give it out to everybody that's there. So if you show up, maybe you get a big discount on your caffeine intake come next week. So check it out. I'm going to cut out. Like I said, I appreciate everybody stopping in. Tomorrow is going to be me and the boy. So you'll see him bouncing around again. He seems to be a fan favorite. So I'll bring his curly head into here every once in a while tomorrow and see how we do, if we can capitalize on the day just like we did today. Look for that first initial break. But we do have the numbers at 7:30. So I do have to drop my son off, my oldest, at school. I don't think I'm going to be able to catch that 7:30 number. I may, if I get up early, I'll stream it. But once the market opens, we'll actually get the true move, the true participants. So less algo whip. Really, I think it's better to be kind of avoiding it. Unless you have a new release strategy, then go for it. But as I mentioned, I'm pretty much done for the day. Not pretty much. I am done for the day. If I hit off on this combine and I pass it today, I'll notify you guys. Check out my Instagram at Policing Pips, my YouTube at Policing Pips. If you're on YouTube, I appreciate it. If you hit the like button, share it, whatever, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, head over to Tradecaster, because once we hit off on that 50 viewer mark, we're going to start doing giveaways once a week. And I think you'll like it. It's nice to go into a free room and get some giveaways. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. So just come on out to the meetup on Friday, and if not, I'll see you tomorrow morning with the open, and we have CPI and the FOMC meeting minutes at 1. So be there or be square or don't. Either way, do what? All right. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Make some more money the rest of the day. Stay out of the chop. I'll talk to you soon. Deuces.